Hey guys, it's Ariel. I am here to show you how to create a MailChimp campaign that will send your blog posts and or filter out to send a newsletter or other specifically tagged post from your blog. When you log into your MailChimp account, the first thing you're going to want to do is go over to your lists. And if you don't already have one, create a list that you're going to be sending the campaign to. For me, I'll name it newsletter and send it from my default email address. And put a little reminder . Alright, perfect. I'm going to leave the double opt-in off, but you can turn it on. That way the person who's receiving the email has to confirm before any of the actual campaign emails come through. You can also set up to receive a daily summary of subscribe and unsubscribe activity or notifications that come in one by one as each person subscribes or unsubscribes to your list. Go ahead and hit save. And then we'll go over to the Campaigns tab, click Create a Campaign, and search for RSS. Click Share Blog Updates, and name your campaign. I'm going to name it Newsletter. And we'll select our newsletter list, and hit Begin. From there, we need to pull the RSS feed. If you want to send all of the blog posts from your blog, you're going to just put the feed for your blog directly into this link. If you don't know what it is, it's most likely your website /feed. So for me, that would be sphinxfinancial.com/feed. The other thing that you can do if you want to filter out for specific blog posts or specific tags, specific topics, you can go to siftrss.com. You can enter the feed URL and filter out whichever items you want. So for me, I want to include items where the category is home buying, but I can also exclude the same or pick different other segments for which blog posts or newsletter posts are included as well. If you are trying to send a newsletter, you're probably going to want to include items where the category is newsletter, and then when you create the campaign, or rather the blog post, make sure that you tag it as newsletter so that the filter knows how to find those posts. So I'm just going to leave it as home buying for now and hit feed me, and it will create its own RSS feed link for me. I'm going to go ahead and right click on it, copy the link location, or you can highlight it and copy. And then I'm going to come back over to MailChimp and paste that into the URL. Then from there we'll select the day and time. So I would like mine to go out every week, and I'd like it to go out on Sunday at 11 a.m. Arizona time. I would like to have it resize any images to fit within the constraints of the email itself, just in case they are too large, that way they won't overlap. And then come down over here to the bottom and hit next. From there, you can either send the blog post or newsletter to your entire list. You can use a saved or pre-built template for a segment. New subscribers who have joined in the past 7 days, active subscribers who have opened at least one campaign, or inactive subscribers who haven't opened at least one of the last 5 campaigns. If you have your website store, like a WooCommerce account linked to your MailChimp, you can also filter by e-commerce activity, but I don't have mine set up, so I'll go ahead and ignore this for now. And if you upgrade to a MailChimp Pro account, you can also filter out by demographic. Otherwise, if none of these seem applicable to what you'd like, you can come over here to your create a group or new segment, and you can select any of the conditions that you want. So you can just do one condition, or you can do multiple conditions by hitting add. You can either pick from any of the conditions, so if just one of them is matched, it'll send the email to that particular subscriber or subscribers, or if all of them are matched, it will only send to those who match those conditions, not just one, but all of them. So for me, I'm just going to leave it alone, but one idea that you can do here is if you have a newsletter sign up on your website, or if you create a landing page for the newsletter sign up, you can allow subscribers to select from groups of topics that they're interested in. So for example, in my feed, we were looking at home buying. If I go back to my list and I created a group that said, what is your topic of interest? And one of the options was home buying, I could select that it would only send to people who have selected home buying as the topic that they're interested in. So then I'm going to go ahead and hit next. And I'll go ahead and name my campaign. For me, I'll just leave it as newsletter. We'll put the subject. So right now the default is post from the feed title and then the date. I'm just going to make the feed title Sphinx Financial Newsletter. And then we can put some preview text. So this is what will show up underneath the post subject, or rather the email subject. So I'm going to say quarterly newsletter. And we'll leave all these other options alone for right now. We can also personalize the To field. So if instead of having the email address in the To field, you wanted to show the name, if you have the name in your contact, you can select this box and it will, instead of showing their email address, show their name. Go ahead and hit next. From there, you're going to want to pick a template. If you have a saved template already from a previous campaign, you can pick from there. If this is your first campaign, you probably want to go over here and hit theme, and then select a theme that the layout matches kind of what you want. I'll use this newsletter template. The template will come preloaded with sample data for you that you can go ahead and replace as you'd like. So for example, I can come here and take out this logo, and I can replace it with my own by dragging and dropping a new image field, hitting browse, and then selecting the logo here. I can change this text, I can change the text within the body, I can change any of these images. Pretty much anything that's here can be tweaked, customized, etc. If this is your first campaign, then I would suggest kind of tweaking it first, but not inputting any content within the body of the email, and then go ahead and saving it as a template so that for future campaigns, you can use that as a starting point rather than starting from scratch every single time and tweaking and customizing the saved theme each campaign that you create. Once you're done with that, go ahead and come over here to the content, and you can drag in and drop an Rss Items widget, and that will show us an excerpt of the most recent RSS campaign, and it will show the title, it'll show the author name and date, and then it'll give us a read more link to continue reading. It'll show a snippet of the content and then a read more links to continue reading the rest within the blog itself. Once the RSS is ended, it'll also show the most recent 5 other additional campaigns that have the same tags on them. So for example, if like we looked at earlier, we only filter out for tags that contain home buying or newsletter, it'll show only the 5 most recent campaigns that have those tags associated to them. Once you're done with that, we can also preview it. So we'll go ahead and enter preview mode. And once it loads, we'll just make sure that everything looks good. So It pulled in the tax law impact for homeowners. It shows us a snippet of the content. If we clicked on read more, it would allow us to continue reading that same post. And then if we went in here, we can click on the actual title itself. Same thing, it'll bring us back to the full post, and we can click on the website link to go back to the site. And that looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and exit out of this preview. I'll hit next. And then since my newsletter list is empty, it's going to give me an error. But if you have subscribers to the list, that should not be a problem. You'll want to add subscribers first, even if it's just your own email address and name, so that it'll have something to send it to. And then if everything looks good and the issues are resolved, there will be a button on the right-hand side that allows you to start your campaign, and off it goes. And then once you have a post that is made to that RSS feed, it will send it at the time that you specify and the day of the week that you specify. So if I were to make a new post before the end of the week on Sunday at 11 a.m. Arizona time, that campaign would go out to all the people who are on my newsletter list. Hopefully that was helpful. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me, and I would be more than happy to help.